Hello folks, welcome back to another video. So I had an idea. I know people get very, what's the word? They're getting a bit fatigued with, with product reviews, especially lengthy ones. So I set myself a challenge. Maybe I'll make it into a bit of a series called maybe, 10-minute reviews, where I review something and I challenge myself to review it in under 10 minutes, which for me with my stammer is going to be difficult, but I think it will work for everybody, especially if it's, something that's not exceptionally detailed. That's going to be hard with this, the sort of Apple CarPlay units, but I think for things like what I'm going to review today, which is the SW-Motech Yukon WP tank bag, I think it will work because it's a tank bag. So if that sounds of interest, stay tuned and we'll get right into it and see if I can get under the 10 minutes. Okay, so let's be quick with this. So what do you get in the bag? Well, you get the actual tank bag itself, and you get a bag for it, and that is it. Obviously, you're going to need a tank ring. So they are bike specific, and for this one it's going to need to be the Pro, not the Evo tank ring. I will leave links in the description to everything. This isn't a sponsored video. I paid for this myself, so but I will leave links down there to that on SW-Motech's website, although I do believe you can get it from places like Adventure Bike Shop, Sports Bike Shop, etc. So what is it made of? I have myself a little script here so I don't stray. It is made out of EVA and TPU with a PU coating on it. And it is 6 litres in size, so it's not one of the expandable ones. I will stick a couple of alternatives that are on the market from the likes of Wunderlich, Givi. Haven't used those, but I will stick some equivalents to this sort of unit in the description for you as well. So how does this mount onto the bike? Well, as I mentioned, it uses a SW-Motech, so I'm assuming it's a patented system, a bit like the older Evo range, where you still had the red pull tab, but in this case it's actually magnetic, so it does latch on easier. I did find the older ones, unless you had them in the exact right spot, they were a little bit hard to kind of get in, whereas this, as long as you get it in roughly the right spot, it locks in really easily and is very secure at motorway speeds and above. So yeah, so for the price at the moment, this is £147.99 on SW-Motech UK's website. You may be able to get that slightly cheaper elsewhere, but that's what I paid for it. If you do need the Pro ring as well, that sets you back about another £33. So the key features of this, it's fully waterproof. It's one of the reasons why I bought it, because I've had SW-Motech bags for years, always been very happy with them, but in the rain they will fend off a little bit, a bit of a shower, but anything more than that, and you used to get these sort of elasticated rain covers that went over them, and you had to sort of pull a little tab on them, which was fine, but I bought this mainly for the fact that it is fully waterproof, which means the zips are waterproof, and obviously the lid, once it's shut, that does that does shield the zips. Under the lid, there is a clear, pocket with another waterproof zip on it, which I, on my recent on a recent, journey, when I went to Europe, I kept my passport, my little electronic toll tag in there, some coins, etc. So that was really handy. On the outside as well, it does have the standard. I think it's a military system called the Molly attachment system. Not something I personally use a huge amount on a tank bag, but I do have a little cheap bag that I bought off of Amazon just to put a couple of bits in, and that works well. But I do, from what I can gather, you can get like a waterproof phone case for it as well, and probably a map pocket, but yeah, it has that on there if you want to use it. Inside, well, there's one main compartment with a little divider that you can actually velcro in slightly different spots, which has like a little netted zip bit in it, which I just put a few bits in there, and generally used it for things that I wanted to keep handy and easy to reach, which on my recent trip was mainly my camera gear. I wanted it to be easy at hand. I could take the bag, off the bike and walk away with it. So yeah, that's what I mainly use for this. It's not a huge space, but it's enough for a good few essentials. I think you could probably use it as a wash bag with all of your sort of toiletries, etc. in there. So what do I like about it? I like the magnetic attachment. I had that on my old one. This is a bit smaller, which is a little bit easier to work with. I also like the fact that you can actually move the attachment base, further forwards and backwards, depending on the type of bike you have, and that is just four dome-headed Allen bolts. Really easy system. On the R1300, I did have to use one of the 6mm spacers just to raise it up slightly so it didn't scarf the tank, but it was it's absolutely fine. I really like the clear pocket that's easily reachable under the flap for your passport, etc. And like I said, it's not too big and bulky. I did have the Pro City, which was huge, which was great for storing stuff, but on the 1300 I wanted to sort of keep it minimal. Like I say, mainly for my camera gear. What I didn't like, so two things really. On one of the 2 days that we had a ride out in Europe, it leaked. Now, it could be user error. I've done about 3,000 miles with it now, but I'm pretty certain the zip was fully shut, the lid was on, the bike was left outside for a short while in the rain, but it got wet inside. If I've still got it, I'll stick a photo up on the screen now, and it got my Insta3 CXD batteries wet, and a few other bits. Hasn't happened since, but I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't very happy with that. Considering the older ones, they never let me down. Like I say, it could be user error, I don't know, I'll see how it goes. But also, after the really rainy day, I couldn't get the damn thing off. The mechanism had got some dirt, some grit in there from riding in the rain. I don't know what, and it would not release. It did eventually, but it took a good 30 minutes and a few of us trying. I have lubricated it, and it seems a little bit better, but it is still a bit stiffer than it was when I bought it. And on the back, on the actual mechanism, I don't know if you'll be able to see that those four sort of metal rods, two of them started rusting, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not entirely happy about. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep it lubed That's what she said. And so for now, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to be using it when I go away in August with my other half. But if those issues continue, then obviously it's going to get returned. So yeah, that's my review. Hopefully I kept that under 10 minutes. Any questions, stick them in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching.